Is the soaring cost of living stressing you out? U.S. households are spending an extra $11,434 per year just to maintain the same standard of living, Michael Snyder reports. I used to really enjoy going to the grocery store. I would relentlessly hunt for deals and I would show off what I was able to find when I got home, but now all of the bargains are gone. Instead, there are ridiculous prices and there are even more ridiculous prices. The prices of some of the things that I normally buy have doubled. In other cases, the prices have almost doubled. Of course, the soaring cost of living is a direct result of decisions that our leaders have made. They just kept borrowing, spending, and flooding the system with money, and now the cost of living is wildly out of control. According to CBS News, on average, U.S. households must now spend an extra $11,434 per year to maintain the same standard of living that they were enjoying when Joe Biden first entered the White House. The typical American household might spend an additional $11,434 annually just to maintain the same standard of living they enjoyed in January 2021, right before inflation soared to 40-year highs, according to a recent analysis of government data. This is insane. But the government continues to insist that inflation is low. On Tuesday, the Bureau of Line Statistics told us that the prices have only risen 3.2% over the past 12 months. Data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics on Tuesday showed prices rose 3.2% over last year, slightly outpacing forecasts of 3.1%. Prices also rose 0.4% in February over the previous month, in line with expectations, but still hotter than economists would like to see. If you believe that, there's a bridge in California that I would like to sell you. Virtually everything that Americans spend money on regularly has skyrocketed during the Biden administration. Just look at the price of gasoline. It's now 60% higher than it was during the last presidential election, November 2020. The average gasoline price at the pump in the U.S. is now 60% higher than at the start of November 2020, a potentially significant factor for American voters when comparing how well off they feel now versus when President Joe Biden was first elected. And while pump prices are rising relatively slowly for the first time of year, the U.S. fuel stockpiles well below seasonal norms will keep refining margins elevated, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. And as a result, the agency on Tuesday raised its second quarter retail gasoline price forecast by 20 cents a gallon. Of course, housing costs have been going up even faster. Recently, I was stunned to learn that a 54 square foot apartment in New York City that does not even have a bathroom is renting for $1,200 a month. A tiny studio apartment in New York City that consists of just one room and has no bathroom, kitchen, or running water has been furiously slated online after it was revealed the asking price for the cell-like property is a staggering $1,200 a month. And now viral video of the tiny rental, which is just 54 square feet and is located Midtown West, has sparked outrage after it was shared on TikTok by listing agent Alexandra Bruni. The 9x6 apartment, it's like a small bedroom. It's just enough for a bed and it does not have even any running water, meaning that if residents needed to use the restroom, they would have to exit their studio and go down the hallway to the communal bathroom. Is that what they mean when they tell you that we will own nothing and be happy? Of course, most Americans are not happy about the current state of affairs at all. They are quite aware that the cost of living has been rising much faster than their paychecks have, and that is definitely not good news for Joe Biden. As Kevin O'Leary has very astutely observed, inflation is always the enemy of the incumbent. He said, inflation is always the enemy of the incumbent. It does not matter who you are in the White House when there's inflation. People go to the voting booth remembering what it costs them for their cornflakes and milk in the morning and what it costs to fill up the car to drive there. And they vote against that. But if you think that inflation is bad now, just wait until the coming wars with China erupts. Once trade across the Pacific comes to a standstill There will be a whole lot of money chasing a rapidly dwindling level of goods in our stores. The employment market will be another major issue in November. The massive tsunami of layoffs that we've been witnessing just continues to roll along. For example, on Monday we learned that John Deere will be laying off 150 workers at a facility in Iowa. Around 150 John Deere workers in Ankeny will be losing their jobs over the next couple of months. John Deere Des Moines Works confirmed to Iowa's News Now that employees were told about the layoffs by factory leadership in meeting at the factory on Friday. The company said about 150 production employees will be placed on indefinite layoff effective over the months of April and May. Sticking with Iowa, Tyson just announced that they will be giving the axe to over 1,000 workers at one other plants in the state. More than 1,000 workers at another Tyson food plant are out of work after the company announced it is permanently closing one of its Iowa facilities. The move comes after the Arkansas-based company closed 2 chicken plants and announced job cuts last year, and said 4 other plants were expected to cease operations in the first half of fiscal 2024 with related charges. At the time, expected to cost the company $300 million to $400 million. On Monday, Tyson announced it would shutter the doors to its Perry, Iowa pork packing plant. But at least they are doing better than Rite Aid is. We just learned another 77 Rite Aid stores will be permanently shut down. Another 77 Rite Aid stores will close. A part of the retailer's voluntary bankruptcy. The closures announced in 7 court filings so far this year will affect stores across 21 states, including California, Pennsylvania, New York, and Texas. The total number of closures announced since filing for bankruptcy in October is now 431. Overall, nearly 107 million Americans do not have a job right now. That number will inevitably go higher during the months ahead. Needless to say, the cost of living is going to continue to steadily increase as well. Prices are always absurdly high, but they are only going to escalate from here. That is really bad news for all of us. This is on the Economic Collapse blog by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. About the author, Michael Snyder's extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon.com. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Time, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and The Most Important News. And he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on the other websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and share his articles on your own social media account is definitely a great help. These are just troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Please kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.